welcome back. As you see, I'm back in the truck. Right now I'm actually in Illinois, so that's cool. Today we are going to be continuing working on our vase pendant. So I'm going to be cleaning this up and shaping it and putting the stone in today. So we're going to be doing that. Hooray! Alright, well, let's get working. Alright, so first we're going to take files to this entire piece. Then I'm going to sandpaper it. And then I'm going to finish it off with a 400 grit sandpaper. Alright, so now this is all clean. And so now we're going to start bending it. This actually is the third, count them, 3 rings that I've had to do. I did 2 of them on the second video. And then I found another crack in the one that I tried cleaning. So I went down to a medium solder. I think that the hard solder just was too hot and just kept on. I was heating up the metal a lot harder than the actual solder before the solder was able to melt. So I went down to a medium, and that seemed to have worked. All the joints are nice and tight, and so far I haven't come across any cracks. Although this is taking a lot of cleaning. But, for the most part, I like it. So we're going to start bending it. Okay, so now all the spikes are up. I did about the width of the needle nose pliers, and so each of these are about that width, just to have some symmetry, and so that it can stand up if it needs to. So now I'm going to make the spirals coming down. So as you can see, it got a lot shorter now that I got the curls in. So now I'm going to put in the stone into the center and make all these come into the center and narrow out the top so that the stone can't get out. Alright, so this is where it gets a little tricky, because I need to solder this joint so that, it's a complete circle and, it won't come apart. But I also need to protect the stone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some paper towel, wet it, and then sneak it right inside where the joint is. I don't want to do too much of that because it will change the heat of the metal drastically. So I just wanted to put a little bit of paper towel to try to protect the stone a little bit. And this should protect it a little bit more. And I'm going to use easy solder. Excellent. So, as you can see, the stone is not burnt. It still has its pattern and it's not cracked. Now, I did end up accidentally melting one of the spirals, but that's all right. That's a little bit of a defect, unfortunately. Sometimes that does happen. But I think that was because the paper was it wasn't letting it soak in the heat. So then that spiral was the first thing to heat up too much and melted. So that's probably why. Normally you would not put a stone in until you're done completely with the soldering process, with the rings or anything like that, normally you leave the stonework out until the very, very end. This project, unfortunately, I guess I might have been able to squeeze it in between the bars, maybe, but I don't want to keep bending the metal back and forth because that'll end up making it weak and liable to snap. So I figured doing the paper towel trick would work, and it did to a point. So here is the vase necklace. I like it. It looks fairly nice. Let's put some light on this. Now, next week, I am going to start working on doing some chain. And I'm going to make a chain for this necklace, for this pendant. So then, it'll be a full project. Yay! But as for this is actually all done. I really like how it came out. It didn't come out exactly how I imagined it, but I like it. I definitely do like it. And definitely can't wait until next week when I start making the actual chain. And the chain is literally, I'm just gonna put it onto one of these loops. Gonna hook it onto one of these loops and then another loop. So then it will dangle. Just go right around the neck. Well, now that that's all done, it's a bit of a project. Like I said, I had to remake this circle part 3 times because I kept overheating it and cracking it. That's you shouldn't overheat metal, especially if it's really thin, because it'll become brittle. But, third time's the charm. Came out really nice. I'm really liking the look of the stone. It kind of looks like an amber from like Jurassic Park or something. So I'm really liking how this turned out, and I can't wait to start the chain for it. That's going to be next week, and I'll explain that next week. But this came out. It came out fairly nice. Now, I had to cut it down a few times, which, that took off a bit of the length, but I started out with, I believe, 4 centimeters. I started out with 4 centimeters. Now it's about 2.5 centimeters. And that's because of the spiral and the little bit of cutting that I had to do to keep redoing that circle part. But, so it went from 4 to 2.5. So it lost about 1.5 inches, which is not too bad. So I really hope you enjoyed watching me make this. I enjoyed making it. I can't wait till next week when I put a chain on it. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you really like this video, hit the subscribe button and the bell so then you can get notified whenever I make a video. And if you think anyone else would enjoy it, send them a link. But for right now, it is getting late, so I need to go to bed. So, have a wonderful evening.